What? What? Oh, I see what you did there. You can stop.
All right.
Hello.
This is the NL and IM review.
That's a horrible name.
Those are our initials. It's good.
No, it's horrible.
Wait. See how when you got so close to the mic, it made it spike? That's too much volume. Easy, Tiger. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to review episode 7, The Force Awakens. There has been an awakening. Mm-hmm. I have felt it.
No,
okay.
Wait, this is spoilers.
Oh.
Lots of spoilers.
Yes, thank you.
Spoiler warning.
Thank you for warning our audience. This has spoilers in it, so if you have not seen the movie yet and you want to be pure, stay away. But after
or if you're addicted to spoilers, go ahead.
Yeah.
At your own risk.
But maybe you should see someone about that addiction. Okay, so we're going to start. We're each going to do 3 pros and 3 cons of the movie. 3 things we liked and 3 things we didn't care for. And then we're going to end with our final rating. So, NL, we're going to start with you, and you're going to give your 3 cons. What were 3 things you didn't care for?
Well, let's see. So, the main character, well, there's 2 main characters, but one that seems more main. Rey, she learns her abilities with the Force way too fast. She can instantly, use Jedi mind tricks, lift things with the Force, and she's really skilled with a lightsaber, all on her first try. She didn't even have anyone to train her. It just didn't.
So just moved a little fast.
Yeah, way too fast.
Okay, that's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Then the other main character, Finn. How does he know how to use a lightsaber exactly? He is a First Order stormtrooper, and he's a janitor in the First Order. How on earth does he know how to use a Jedi's
that's
weapon?
Simple. He practices with a mop. He practices with a mop all the time, like that kid on YouTube.
How exact? But anyways, how?
Yeah,
it
that
just doesn't.
I got you there.
Finn isn't he's not strong with the Force, as far as we know.
Yeah, and he did just pick up the lightsaber and fend off this guy, this evil
a Sith Lord
who'd been practicing.
To be fair, he wasn't training.
That's true, and he was injured, but it did seem a little too much. The lightsaber is supposed to be a sacred weapon only for Jedi, you know? I didn't like that he used it. Okay, so what's the third thing that you thought was a con?
They had so much action and speed in it. There was no time in the script for small things, not small, they're important. Rey, training in some way, shape, or form with the Force. And Finn, slowly becoming, slowly wanting to get away from the First Order. They just made him instantly, he just become, a hero. And, then he is not a hero. He's like he was before. He's a hero again. And then Rey, like I said before, she just learns it really fast. She learns all these Force things instantly. She doesn't even learn.
Do you think it felt kind of like they wanted to cram so much in that some of the stuff just went so fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I agree that was a little too fast, but I'm also going to use that. Now I'm going to give my 3 pros. As the flip side of that is it's one of the pros. So my 3 pros, I'm going to list them quick and then talk a bit about them. Number 1, it's just a fun action sci-fi movie. Number 2, it was a great homage or tribute to the original Star Wars. This is a Star Wars movie. And number 3, I thought they placed the franchise on a really good foundation for the future. So briefly, each of these things. Fun action movie. I mean, it was just a blast. It was so well shot. It was beautiful. Some of the battle scenes, the scene where the Resistance comes and their ships fly in over the water and they've got that battle with ships and people on the ground. That was a great scene. A lot of cool action. Great chase scenes. In some ways, the whole movie is like one giant chase scene. But there's just great action. Really fun, fast-paced. Number 2, it's a great tribute to the original Star Wars. in many ways, this movie almost was like a remake of A New Hope, or a remake of like it was in not necessarily a bad way. It was a tribute, because all these people in the theater, you see the sights and sounds, like that is Star Wars. There's the Millennium Falcon, there's the chase scenes, there's the stormtroopers, there's the and you just know, you felt it. The episodes 1, 2, and 3 are like cinematic abominations, and they don't feel like Star Wars to me.
Jar Jar Binks.
Yes, there wasn't like stupid animals stepping in poop, and it had the right amount of humor, the kind of old Han and Chewie and C-3PO like little humor lines. It was funny, and it was well done, and it was clearly this, like, reminding all of us, like a warm blanket after we're all traumatized by the prequels, that this is Star Wars, guys. It's back, and it really did a great job of capturing that feeling. And then finally, I think it placed it on a great footing going forward. And that's where I was tying into, yes, it moved fast and like a lot of stuff happened quick, but they were kind of like wrapping up loose ends and saying, okay, this is how we're going to move forward. Rey is going to be a main character. She clearly has an interesting past. Maybe she's even Leia's daughter, Leia and Han's daughter. We're not sure.
It's obvious.
And, Finn is going to be an interesting character. I thought the idea of a stormtrooper who
He's
turned
experimental.
is a cool character. Yeah.
Like that's because
Poe, the pilot, the X-wing guy. Poe. See,
Poe.
I don't even know their names. I liked him too. I thought he's going to be a cool character. I was really impressed. Like, they introduced new characters that I am intrigued by. I want to see more, and they put things on a good foundation for that.
If his name was Co, that would be so convenient since he's a pilot.
He'd be a co-pilot.
He's the co-pilot.
Okay, so now we're going to flip the order. Now I'm going to go first with my 3 cons, and you're going to give your 3 pros. Got it? Okay, so my 3 cons. 1, lack of originality. 2, in as much as it moved really fast, not much happened plot-wise. And 3, Finn. I had a few problems with him. Okay, let me get into this quickly. Ready? Lack of originality. This truly felt to me almost like a remake of A New Hope, or even the whole original trilogy. You look at everything that happened. They go to a cantina to find something that they need, and there's a bunch of shady characters around there.
And if you pay close attention, a beautiful old alien lady sitting on top of a disgusting fat alien.
Oh yeah, right. There's all kinds of there's a Death Star, but it's bigger, and
it's better, and it's actually a real planet.
Well,
it's a planet.
And they have to get somebody on the ground to disable something so someone can fly in and make a perfect shot to destroy this thing that's supposed to be invulnerable. There's every element I felt was a recreation of some of the great parts of the original movies. And while that was kind of a nice tribute, they didn't do anything really bold and new. It was like, hey, here's Star Wars. We kind of remade it with some new characters. So there wasn't anything original in the plot. And that goes to number 2. Not much happened. When I asked myself, what was the plot? What happened in this movie? Really? The scrolling text at the beginning says there's this thing called, what are they called? The First Order. Yeah, there's the First Order. And they want to destroy the Last Jedi, which is Luke Skywalker, who's disappeared. And the Resistance, why they're called the Resistance instead of just the Republic, I don't know.
They're new!
Oh, easy. You spiked the volume. They need to find this and save Luke, I guess. And then the entire movie after that was just a giant chase scene of them. They've got the map. Oh yeah, a hidden map inside a droid. I mean, it's right out of A New Hope. They're chasing around the galaxy.
Probably because the original plans that they had years ago worked really well. How about we put a secret message in a droid again?
Yes.
And make it go to a desert planet again.
Exactly.
That worked out pretty well.
So plot-wise, not much happened. It was a big chase scene. And then finally, Finn. I love the character. I'm intrigued by the idea of a stormtrooper who's turned around. And I thought
his personality's experimental.
He had moments, but he was so up and down. I couldn't figure out who he was. Okay, so he's this guy who's been trained his whole life, and then all of a sudden he just snapped. I guess I'm going to risk my life to turn my back on everything that I was trained to believe. Happened really quick, and then so he's like this courageous rebel who breaks away, and then the very next minute he's a coward who wants nothing to do with anything. And then he's courageous again, and then he's a coward, and then he's funny.
If he's a clone, and so are basically all of I'm pretty sure he's a clone.
No, he's not a clone, because remember they had the scene where he's like, if you can't get your troops to do it, I'll send the clones. And he said, no, they've been trained from birth. So some stormtroopers are clones, and some are kids that have been taken from birth and trained.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so those are my 3 cons. NL, your 3 biggest pros. What are the favorite things about the movie?
Well, okay. they really well showed that times changed, and they just did it in a really, really good way. Like how, I don't know, everything just feels so new, even though the Star Wars universe seems more ancient now. It's just cool, I guess. Like they just add some more ancient stuff to it, which I just really like that. It feels new. It's cool.
So things were clearly different and new, but also it's not like the whole universe had moved far into the future.
Technology, yeah. It's like, because I noticed with episode 1, 2, and 3, the genetic mutations, things were very like futuristic. Like there was less ancient stuff. Star Wars episode 4, 5, and 6, those were sort of in the middle. And now this one's a bit more ancient. I like how they show like how times change in the Star Wars universe. They just showed it really well, I guess.
Okay, all right, that's one
And
pro.
There are more races and accents, not alien races. I mean like human races. Like they have all sorts of people: Irish people, Scottish people, British people, English people, all sorts of people.
So those are all from like the same country, or not quite, but the United Kingdom.
They have a lot of United Kingdom things. Haven't you noticed? They have a lot of people.
Yeah, there were a lot of
like,
British actors.
Accents.
So you liked that
that
it was like a more diverse cast.
Yeah.
Everybody wasn't from America.
America.
Okay, what's a third pro?
Last one, they mixed new and old really well. Like they showed like story-wise very similar to the original, and then but they have so many new characters, so many new places, new things. They have enough old to make people make longtime fans really see it as familiar and be more attracted to it. And then they have a lot of new, just to inspire new thoughts and characters and ideas to the Star Wars universe. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too. I'm really excited to I really want to see what happens next with the plot. And that's a great feeling to be left at a place where you're like, I can't wait. And unlike with the prequels where you kind of knew what had to happen. You knew that Anakin had to transform and the Republic had to turn to the Empire. So you were kind of just waiting to see how it happened. But here we don't know what's going to happen next. It's totally brand new to us. And it's Star Wars. It's back. It's back.
Stop grabbing me.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, what did you think about Han Solo? His role in the movie and the way that he died and everything.
It was good. I liked seeing Han's last moments in the series. It was really nice and just for around the beginning of the movie to see a proper send off for Han Solo.
Yeah.
He dies, it's because the actor didn't really want to be in much more.
It's pretty old, Harrison Ford.
Yeah, we've seen enough of Han Solo, I guess. Now we have these new characters. Him and Chewie are we're basically the only old ones that were with their crew. I guess they just gave Han Solo a good send off, even if he was killed by his own son brutally. I
mean, it's hard to see Han Solo go because he is such a great, and even in this one,
and he was killed by Mr. Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, NL thinks that the guy that played Kylo Ren, that he looks like somebody out of a Jane Austen movie.
He does.
So I thought Han in this movie, I was kind of wondering okay, how are they going to incorporate the old characters? These actors are so old, it might feel kind of forced. Han and Chewie, they were brilliant. Han was brilliant in this movie.
Chewie didn't age.
He was so strong. He acted so well, and I loved the way it ended. Patricide. I mean, come on. That's Shakespearean, Greek tragedy, Shakespeare. That was, and the way that Han, in that moment, as he was stabbed and died and knew that his son had turned, he looked at him and had that look I still believe that you're not evil, as he fell to his death. That was epic. Also, in terms of characters, when I said they put on a firm foundation, I was so impressed with Rey. I thought she was an amazing, well
She
cast,
is.
great. Like it just had a lot of intensity to her. That she was a very dynamic
A
character.
human that speaks droid.
Yes, you wish you spoke droid.
We didn't have C-3PO for a long time in the movie, so why not have the main character translate?
What'd
the
you think
droid
about the new
says?
droid, by the way, BB-8?
Well, when I first saw it, I'm like, a ball with an orange R2D2 face. That's the best they can come up with. A ball with an R2D2 face. Han even admits that it's dumb. When he keeps calling it a ball.
So you don't like it?
But well, at first I was like that, but then I'm like, I started to warm up to it.
It grew on me a little bit
it's
too.
cute. It's basically R2D2 as a baby.
It's a
Looks
logical
like baby
form
R2.
of mobility on a flat planet anyway. But
Yeah.
the a couple times his voice sounded too much like Wall-E.
No,
Like,
it didn't. No, it
yeah,
didn't.
yeah. And then like a couple times it was too much like a puppy. He was like like nodding his head. Yeah, it was a little too, I don't know, but it was good.
Droids have been.
I was impressed. I thought it would be cheesy, and it worked out really well.
Well, droids have improved in the future, and now he shows more emotion. Apparently, a droid similar to what R2's unit is when upgraded is like a puppet.
Okay. So we're gonna wrap this up in a minute. But what did you think of? This was one thing that was different about this film. Not necessarily bad, but there was the evil force, the antagonist, was not this super intimidating, like the way Vader and the Emperor were. It was Kylo Ren, whatever, and Kylo. And he's clearly a teenager who's not quite mastered the Force, and he's kind of shaky, so not super
I'm
intimidating.
so emotional. I can't handle it.
Yeah, he's kind of an emo.
Yeah,
emo evil. But then the main guy, the Supreme Leader or whatever.
He's a basket case.
The Supreme Leader guy that we saw the hologram of. I don't know. There's something about him. It was just it's Gollum. Because it didn't really
he
carry
seems like a god.
It didn't have
Doesn't
a
he seem
forceful.
like a god?
Sorta.
He seems like a god.
Well, just because he was a giant holographic projection. Do you think he's actually that big?
I would assume.
I think they just were projecting him really big to make him look imposing on the hologram.
Even where he's sitting, it seems all ancient, like he's a god.
Yeah. Did you think that was a good evil character or no?
It was really because the Emperor is obviously some evil hooded dude who sits in a giant giant mechanical
and slowly turns around in his chair and says things like, "I've
he's
been
all
expecting
technology based, and he even shoots lightning. Where the Supreme Leader, he seems more ancient, and like I said, for probably the 5th time, he's like a god, ancient
Maybe
feel.
it was the 4th time. May the 4th be with you. Wah, wah, wah. Hey, speaking of what? I had something I was gonna ask you. Oh yes, did you notice how the Oracle was in the movie? The Oracle from the Matrix.
No.
You remember the woman that bakes cookies in the Matrix, who's the Oracle?
Yeah.
That's what that little alien lady at the cantina reminded me of.
She reminded me of the Oracle.
Yes, when she came down and her voice
it.
and the way she's, it's all right.
I
She's
spiked
like,
it.
she's like, you've got to go in there, sweetie. I thought she was gonna be like, want a cookie, But yeah,
she is it's weird that he acts like Chewbacca as her boyfriend though. That's really weird.
A little uncomfortable.
Where's my boyfriend? Chewie's out fixing the ship. I like that Wookiee. What the heck? I was like, what was that?
Don't judge her taste in men.
Furry dog men.
In a Mog. Okay. What is the final, remember, half man, half dog?
Oh, yeah.
The final take out of 5 stars. Drum roll.
Wait, I have one thing to say.
Okay, go ahead.
It's just something interesting and I'm confused about. You said that they implemented stuff from the Clone Wars as part of the canon. Once they cut off stuff, the Clone Wars series is part of the canon. Well, just today, I watched the beginning of episode 1 of the Clone Wars, and it did suck, but I noticed that the droids called Count Dooku's apprentice, who is bald and has pale skin, they called her Supreme Leader. I know, right? And the Supreme Leader is bald and pale.
We might have to return to that. for another time.
Yes.
All right, out of 5 stars, what do you give it?
All right, so for me, it's as a movie, I give it 4.5. As an introduction to a series, I give it 5.
That's a good way to put it. I would give it 4 stars as a standalone movie, and I think it's a 5-star stepping stone to take the franchise forward. I agree with that. So, any final thoughts on this? I mean, overall, it was great. We picked apart some things, but it was a fun movie experience. I mean, it was the most fun I've had at the theater. You when the movie ended, you just jumped up and started clapping.
My heart was beating, and even when I woke up the day after I had seen the movie, my heart was still pounding.
Yeah, it's probably bad for your health.
And it felt like some sort of a dream that I had. It felt like I had a dream.
That was the Force awakening. Hey, thanks for listening. We loved the movie. Somewhere between 4 and 5 stars.
It's awesome.
All right, signing off. May the Force be with you.
No.